Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Vinland Saga, Season 2, Episode 19, and I have drawn a horizon with a sail on it because something is coming. I'm not sure whether that's us fleeing or something coming here. I'm not sure which one's going to happen first. Maybe they're all going to happen at the same time. We have a number of things to get through here at the beginning of the episode. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the last episode and working in the context of a couple of comments. And then I want to watch the minute and a half dropped on YouTube 18.5 thing that goes between last episode and this next one, which I think will serve to transition us from the terrible, very personal, very isolated tragedy of Arnheid and Gardar and everything that we've been in for the last episodes, and transition from that into, ooh man, the feeling that I have is like you've set up all your pool balls and then the we'll just have to see how everything shakes out. War is coming to Ketil's farm. But first comes the war inside. The war in the heart. The one inside Thorfinn. The one inside Ashalat and Gardar. And the one that's just like an instant surrender inside of Ketil. We're going to talk about those. So let's go ahead and do that. I wanted to start with a piece of discussion that happened on the Discord. This came from Schmuck on Wheels in the Discord. Thanks, Schmuck, and anybody else who wants to join in the Discord and join in on these fun discussions, get on in there. They're linked in. It's linked in the Patreon. Schmuck on Wheels writes, I love Ketil's character arc so much. Like, obviously, we all know that the ownership of people is inherently wrong and evil, but it gets that across in such a powerful, visceral way. First of all, I want to take a step back and just go, actually, it's not obvious that we all know that. And for most of human history, it has not been obvious that humans should not be slaves. And in many ways, one could frame our current economy as just like slavery with extra steps. Rick and Morty made the joke a dozen times, right? But I think it's important that we don't take these things for granted in the way that this comment does. And it's just a moment where I can point it out. I don't actually want to criticize Schmuck for saying this because I also think it's very obvious that people shouldn't be used as slaves. It's wrong and evil. But that's not obvious, really. It's taken us a long time as a species to figure out that we shouldn't probably do that to each other. And there are still huge portions of the population where we do that to each other. And there are large portions of the population that would like to keep doing that to each other and would like to go back to a time when we did that to each other, so long as they're the party that's on top. Like, let's not fuck around. There are a lot of people who would be really into the idea. So, okay. It's important, then, that we have stories that teach us why. Why is that a bad idea? Because if you've lived your whole life and you have no evidence and no understanding and it's not obvious to you, then we need some lessons. We need some ways of passing down this critically important information for future generations that says, hey, you're a person. It would really suck to not have any agency. Don't take it away from somebody else either. How about that? The way that the show dismantles the idea of a nice slave owner. All humans are capable of cruelty. And if you have internalized on any level that a person is your property, there's no telling what you might do on a bad day. I think it's even more than that. There's every telling exactly what you'll do every day. Because it happens in abusive relationships when somebody stops taking the other person as somebody that they care about. It happens in boss-employee relationships. It happens anywhere that there's a power dynamic. If you internalize that somebody is less than you, it's very likely that you will utilize them for your own gain at their detriment. It's like really likely. So what do? You go, I'm going to be better than that. Of course, I'm better than them, but because I'm better, I won't be evil. I'm just not going to be evil. That's what I'll do. I'll put do no evil in my company documents, and then I'll be great. Everything will be fine. Doesn't work, right? You end up in a dynamic when you have the opportunity and you're tempted and you take it. So avoid the temptation in the first place and don't enter into power dynamics where you take other people as property. Avoid them at all costs, maybe. And that's a striking revelation, maybe. It's one that I think I had was about 11 or 12 when I started like really trying to get away from power. Started to become really like turned off by power. I think a part of it was that I found a copy of Robert Greene. Is it Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And hating it, like despising the book, absolutely, really, truly hating it. And hating the recognition that oh gosh, how do I put it? The realization that everyone is striving for a position that destroys them. Everybody wants a position of power over other people, and being in a position of power over other people destroys them. It's like classic villains who seek something that tears them apart. It's a continuous, insidious, oxidative, corrosive force. Is power. Power, violent power over another human being, economic power over a population, whatever it is, it's like it corrupts, man. It corrupts. So we have a perfect example of that in Ketil. Ketil being, and my response to Schmuck wraps this up. Schmuck says, I guess the idea that powerful people being nice is any consolation when the power dynamic is so inherently cruel is what it really dismantles. And my response is, one of the good ones. Ketil's one of the good ones. He's a good slave owner. That's what we get to up until episode like 15, right? Ketil's a good slave owner. He's nice to his slaves. He has a history of freeing them when it's contractually right to do so. He doesn't treat them like inordinately badly. He's relatively fair in dealings with them. And a lot of this comes from his own like lack of love for violence. He doesn't see himself as a violent man. He doesn't see himself as a powerful warrior or anything like that. He doesn't see himself as aligned with his society, really. Except when push comes to shove. Except when he gets incensed. Except when he's actually angry. And then he's just like anybody else. No better, maybe worse. Maybe because he hasn't rubbed up against the violence and horror, maybe worse. Maybe because he hasn't envisioned himself as capable of violence, maybe that makes him all the more capable of reaching for it without thinking about it. And I think that nails a deep human truth, and that is that each of us is a monster. The nicest, sweetest person is capable of being a monster. And I think the extent to which a person is capable of being a monster, it's either conscious or unconscious. You've got conscious monsters like Ketil's son. He loves to kill things. Great, conscious monster. Then there are the other people, a little bit different. I think the extent to which you are capable of being a monster is directly proportional to the extent to which you think you are not one. Or maybe to phrase it better, the extent to which you are capable of being a monster is exactly proportional to the extent to which you think you are incapable. It is always the people who think that they could not hurt a fly who are killing the people around them, who are absolutely wrapped up in their own selfishness and destroying things around them. Always. Always. It's always that dissonance. That's exactly what it is. That dissonance where you're running on one melody that says, I'm a good person. I'm a good person who would never do anything wrong. And then you're ripping a lady's hair extensions out in the middle of a fucking Walmart. Like, what happened there? How did we get from one to the other? Well, there's no barrier. To my understanding, there's no barrier, no walls, no psychological strength, no bulwark, nothing, right? It's just a wash. There's just an identity that's founded in nothing that says, I'm not a violent person, and then violence erupts, anger takes you over, and you are an instrument of your emotions because you don't have walls up against them, right? You're not contained in yourself. You haven't seen yourself as capable of being a monster. You look out into the world and you see all these other scary, dangerous people doing bad things, and you've got to protect yourself from them. But what about protecting the world from you? What about protecting yourself from you? What about protecting your children and your family from you? because monsters are people. And so I guarantee that one of the people watching this right now, and it might be you, is a monster. And you don't know it. That's what Ketil's story does to me. Is it says, you're him. Watch it. Watch it. Because if you're not on edge, if you're not thinking about it, whoosh, down into the pit. It's a long slip and slide. It's a long slip and slide, and you're not climbing back up. Okay. So there's Ketil, and Ketil is like lived his whole life in this society that has these rules, and he's got his own ideas about who he wants to be, and it all evaporates when he gets angry enough. It evaporates, and he finds himself destroying something that he cares about. Lashing out. It's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. Next is a comment from Araragi-senpai. Ketil's outrage is contrasting with the very spirit of Thorfinn's musings about finding that first method. Violence is not a solution. He wants to find a path that avoids leading to it no matter what, and you have to fight for it. Not the conventional, much too present way of fighting given the era, but the fight with yourself, your emotions, and your much too ingrained beliefs as a Viking, of what honor and what being a man is. A tough hill to climb, as we're seeing this whole season with Thorfinn. A hill Ketil wasn't ready to climb himself. Hell, he didn't even envision the possibility that this hill was there in front of him. He'd rather jump in that pit that Thorfinn was shown falling through, leading to the eternal fighting that takes place in there, the epitome of violence and Viking society and norms. This is what weakness leads you to. Resort to your position of power, your authority, to let your frustration out upon the defenseless. And that's exactly it. In a strange way, though Ketil's a perfect example of banal evil, and that's exactly what it is. It's banal, it's normal, it's mundane, it's everyday. A part of that is that he would never consider a better world or another option. This is the way of things. The idea that there might be some way of doing this better, some slim, winding, straight and narrow, I know winding and straight and narrow, silly, winding and yet straight and narrow path that climbs that hill, and you phrase it as a hill so perfect. It's a winding and yet straight and narrow path that switchbacks up a hill. And it's an endless climb, just like the staircase that Canut's dealing with, but a very different kind of climb, right? The most potent idea here to me is that Ketil couldn't even conceive of the idea of doing something differently, that it would never cross his mind because there's such a well-trod, obvious option as you beat the slave to death or whatnot, right? It's like the obvious option. Everybody's in line with it. Everybody believes in it. It's all... So how do you break from a society where that's the right option? How do you break from a world where war is the answer? We have one piece of the puzzle. You break internally, and you decide. You make choices externally. Thorfinn made a choice. He chose to fight for protection, to protect someone. It's interesting. But then what? You're still in the middle of it. It's still coming. It's still ready to rain down on you. Where do we go from here? When the enemy is on the horizon, do we flee to the other horizon? Is that all we can do? Maybe. Maybe. Let's watch the 18.5. This is titled Same Old Story. Season 2, Episode 18.5. Dropped on Mappa Channel on YouTube. And I'll timer it in. Is that Ketil? All the peasants. Yes, he would. Death. This is who you are. This is our way. Ha ha! Oh, I wouldn't say that. Not when a bigger, better army's coming. If might makes right, then you are wrong, Ketil. And we lean on the legend. What is our way? Might makes right. Might makes right. I'll say it again for those in the back. It's all well and good to yell might makes right. When a bigger, stronger, better trained army is coming over the hill, might makes right might not be the way you want to go. Yeah? It's like cheering, let the better man win! As you fight somebody you know is better than you. Uh-oh. I had a thought, just watching this, about the framing of things. We've got this hammer that's the Canute army, that's sitting waiting to drop, or like a axe waiting to fall, like that, right? Yeah, executioner's axe waiting to fall. And it holds until we choose violence. Like Thorfinn chooses violence, and that like causes a whole thing. But Ketil chooses violence, and then the day after, like the episode after, that's when Canute's army arrives. It's as though the peaceful, idyllic world is shattered in an instant by an act of violence. Does that track? It's a common, relatively common. I can't reach for an exact example of it because I don't know one. Idea. You've got this idyllic meadow or wood or something, and then crashing boots of soldiers come through, right? Like something destroys the scene. We have this beautiful scene of this farm, and we're building it in a great direction, and then violence, just a little bit, right? Justified violence. All the other things are happening anyway. They're all coming. But from the perspective of someone at the farm, it's as though Ketil kills the symbolic creature. Like beating Arnheid destroys the symbolic piece of the farm. And then war comes. I wonder if he'll feel like that when he is dying. Hate to frame things that way, but I'm pretty confident in the direction that this goes. I wonder if he'll blame himself. I wonder. Let's go to war, boys. Our home, our farm, this place that we've worked on, this land that we've built into something beautiful. We have to flee it once again. War comes to Ketil's farm. Let's watch. Okay, I have episode 19, The Battle of Ketil's Farm, up and ready to go. It's at 0 seconds. There'll be 2 versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, early access on the Patreon. Beep beep timer to count you down. Let's go. So that was immediately before this. Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah, 250 cannon fodder. They know it's death, right? They know it's death. Just like a pot. Yeah, it builds on itself. He's seen this before. That's why we titled 18.5 Same Old Story. Omar in the background. I wonder how he's gonna do. Oh, hi. We've let you out of your chains? Are we leaving? You know how this goes. Yeah. We're already in it. Damn. Oh. My guess is that she's not gonna make it. No, no way. Yeah. Yeah. My guy, I've been looking for you for a while. Oh. Yeah, but we're all gonna die if we stay. Yeah, I don't know what kind of wound she took. We're gonna have to move her. Damn. We take her regardless. Fucking shite palisades. Do we see them? Yep. Bad. If only we could like bombard them in the sea. If only we had other ways of making war, man. Holy shit! All of that was before the OP. Woo! Oh, fuck! Oh, fuck! How do they have the range? Oh, they're trained and they have longbows. Or longer bows. Canute's been increasing his, He's been romaning! He's romaning! He's stealing stuff. I mean, English longbow wasn't a thing until much later, though. So I wonder. The glorious lord! With wet boots. Yeah, what else is he gonna do? Let you just kill him? And take all his shit? Yes. Yes, it is. Hmm. Are you gonna give him an option? Are you gonna give us any other choice? "10 years of outlawry." No shot. Kill the messengers. We're fucked. We're fucked. They're so confident. Oh, there are only 100 of them. Still. Still, we're fucked by that. Those are men in full armor. Shit. You idiots, you idiots. Only Snake won't be laughing. All that means is that it won't crush, though. It means a lot of bloodshed. You bring a more overwhelming force and you crush their resistance really fast. He should have brought 1,000. No joke. Well, it's 100 Jomsvikings. It's his royal fucking guard. I wonder if there's anybody we know besides... I don't know. Yeah. We're fucked. We're fucked. They must be pussies, right? They're weak. I bet they're worse. Those are the Jomsvikings, right? Yeah. They're worse. Holy shit, Snake. We're gonna die. Okay, he knows. But we have to fight. Yep. Down with the ship. Respect, man. You'll be killed as traitors. I don't know. Oh, the legend. The legend! The legend protects him, too. Monigeyo! Oh, shit. Oh, shit. What? So you know that Ketil's not him. He learned to fight from the Iron Fist? It was a different guy. Oh, shit. A liar, liar, pants on fire. So he's been keeping his secret the whole time? That's so fucking funny! He knows! Wow. It's a strange kind of honor you've got, Snake. Strange kind of honor. Big respect, though. Yeah, I'm not gonna force you. But they'll follow him. Because he's a leader. Yeah, the Master's a fraud who's not worth dying for, but you, my guy, be an honor to die next to you. Yeah. Come on. No, you. All right. Then we die together, friends. Holy shit. Oh my god, they're here. We're just doing it. We're just doing it. Nice eyebrows, bro. 100 men. 100 super marines, let's be clear. 100 soldiers in power armor. This is 100 master chiefs. What the? That's true? We're gonna fight them on the beach? Whoa, you're explaining it to him. Mm-hmm. Am I allowed to be sneaky? It depends on whether we don't care about losing peasants. Because you throw them at the spears first. You throw them at the spears first. You try to kill as many of them as you can. Fuck. We're using CG for the shields? Did we do that? How did we do that? I wonder how we did that. We lose. As simple as could be. If we fight, we lose. Okay. So it goes. Let the blood spill. Ah, fuck. Ah, fuck. Fucking rush into a shield wall. Oh, you want to talk terror, man. God damn. Not pater. Are we fleeing? We'd better. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We'll do what we can, man. Shut up, other Thorfinn. Damn. She might already be dead, man. What are you thinking, Thorfinn? Spherical. I wonder if he'll end up out there with a sword. I know he's bedridden, but like... oh, it's like the long road, you know? Uisho. Oh, it is like the long road. Oh, it's both of her children. Oh, goodbye, Arnheid. We're taking her home, too. Yeah. There's no need to be afraid. We're going to the sunny place. Not a place to raise our children. Einar and Thorfinn. That's what I think that is. Chills, chills, chills. Take a moment. She she's gonna wake up for a moment? Or is she not going yet? If that's so, then she's lost the kid. She's not done here. Arnheid? My guy. It's like the torture sequence, like the pit. Yep. Yep. Power armor indeed. Machines. I wonder where Thorgil is. Because if he's smart enough, hitting them from the side at their line... We're going through the water? Or is Omar fleeing? Then throw away your sword. Awesome. I wonder whose boat he's gonna fall into. Oh my god, he's gonna try to fucking assassinate Canute. I'm so into that! It's gonna be him versus Wolf! Or is he gonna burn the boats? Either one is good. He's gonna go for the kill. Oh my god, don't announce yourself, you dork. God damn. Oh, it's so fucking brilliant. Oh boy, oh my god. Oh! For some reason, it's really funny to me to just title the episode "Pain," just because it's like it's the format of a meme now. It's like all this stuff subtitle "Pain." I'm sorry for laughing. Oh my god. Oh, it's just too on the nose. Holy shit. Pain, the movie. Yes, correct. Oh shit. But wait. Oh no, okay, that's Thorfinn. other Thorfinn driving the cart. For a second, just the framing of this, that looks like young Thorfinn driving the cart. It's like young Thorfinn driving older Thorfinn somewhere. That's not what's going on. Oh, yeah, this episode could also be titled Pain. And it's also strange because, this is the Battle of Ketil's Farm, but it's really it's like the opening salvo of the battle. The battle really seems to be next episode. The meat of it, at least. Although, maybe the meat of it was now as we slaughter a bunch of fucking peasants. I like that we get the little minute and a half moment of rallying the troops. I think that's really important. I'm glad that they released it on YouTube because it clicks into place there, getting them riled up. But I understand that it's not I understand why it was cut in the first place. It's not critical, I don't think. Ooh, what a set of conversations in this episode. Conversations that reveal deep things and some of the best, unspoken subtleties in conversation. The conversation between Snake and his men when he's putting on his armor and he reveals what he knows about the real Ketil is fascinating to me because of the layers of connection and almost shame, all the layers that cause them to jump in and be like, no, we're gonna fight with you. It's like the shame of having eaten this liar's food, the fact that their leader is going, and all of this is unspoken. All of it's unspoken. All of it we have to infer from their facial expressions, and what they actually say isn't quite right on, I really like those elements of this episode wrapped around this pivotal turning moment, this critical moment. Characters make critical decisions, and the conversations that we have around those decisions are really lively and really full of thought, and they cut to the core of our characters' individual philosophies and worldviews in a way that I think is really striking and exactly what I want as things erupt into violence and conflict, because it makes me primed to see which worldviews come out the other end unharmed, which ones survive. I love Snake's facial expressions throughout all of this, how resigned he is to the situation. Like the moment when he says, I'm going to tell you one last time, we fight, we lose. And Ketil goes, we're fighting. And he goes, okay. It's I know that we probably die for this, but there's no choice. We're stuck. I've made my bed here. The enemy is coming for here. I'm not picking up and fleeing. We're fighting. They're out of their minds. Yes, they are. And this is where I think that the title for the little mini-sode thing really fits most perfectly, is the same old story idea, because the title is Same Old Story. And we are here watching Snake talk through this as though he's seen it 1,000 times or 12 times, whatever, right? Do they really think that they stand a chance? Well, we brought them in, and we riled them up with the promise of paying off their debts, and now that they're here, we've revealed to them what the actual fight is, and now their honor keeps them in. Right? Their honor as Norsemen keeps them in, and we rile them up, and more of them arrive, and that riles them up even more, and they're starting to think that they could really do it because they've got the strength of numbers behind them. This is how you build a mob. This is how you build a peasant army, right? And this is how you get them. You fan the flames of their rage in order to get them to run into a spear wall, a wall of shields and spears, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Do they think they stand a chance? That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You keep them from thinking about that, and you get them thinking about riches and glory and justice and honor and blood, and you get them in a fury, and then you go. The logic of it is irrelevant, and that remains true in the modern day, all the way up through. The difference is that we don't have to convince a population of soldiers in the same way, because we don't use civilian soldiers in the same way. We indoctrinate a population of soldiers, and then we convince a population, a voting public. And if you want to find out more about that, read Manufacturing Consent by Noam Chomsky. Or watch the 1970s movie, or 1990s movie? Watch the movie. It's a pretty good film as well. But now they're stuck. This was a smart choice. Thoriel's not bad at this, and we get to see that even further. I love that we put Olmar here in this frame. Always in the background of Thoriel. always in the background, always there, always looking like, oh boy, I don't want to be here. Oh boy. And up on the hill, Thorfinn watches it all and turns away from battle. What a thing. There's something about this moment that I want to highlight. How many times has Thorfinn been able, like allowed, to turn away from battle? Not many. This might be the first battle that he's there for, that he doesn't have to go take part in at some point. It's pretty crazy. I just love this face for Thorfinn, this like intense. So we gotta go, but we can't move Arnheid. So Leif gives us another day. One day. But Thorfinn says, go without me. Fucking hell. It's a strange thing. The look on your face is better these days, but it's like, really? Are you sure? Yes, something shines through. I'm not going to leave you behind to save my own skin. I'm not. So, this sucks. But it's 100% that she's lost the child, right? Because the child's in the cart. Yeah. Damn. There's something about this moment of like looking over somebody's point to see on the horizon. I really like it. I like it. It's cool. And at this point, it's like the drums start. War is coming. It's coming. It's coming. And the whole episode, the tension ramps up through it. It's really fucking cool. So, real question here. Why is it that they are able to hit us with arrows when we can't hit them? And not by a short degree either. These are fairly like simple, short hunting bow type things. Some of them have a mild recurve to them. I'll say that I'm fascinated in this because I did a bunch of bowyery, which is making bows. I did a bunch of bowyery. I got really interested in it. And I made a few flat bows. I never got up to the point where I was making actual composite bows, and I'd really like to at some point, but I don't have the tools anymore. I tried a couple times to like make them out of like synthetics and bamboo and stuff, and it didn't end up working. They ended up separating. But I understand the dynamics of bows fairly well, especially old style like self bows and flat bows. These are simple bows. None of them are like the height of a person. So they're not long bows. And the same is true on the other side. I think I gotta go look up when the longbow came into common use. These are all nice bows, but we're still looking at single piece of wood self bows, like flat bows. They're not recurve, and they're not longbows. Like, critically, they're not huge. So, to my mind, the thing that's different here is that these are trained archers with bows that are fit for them, who have draw weights on those bows, and like the dynamics of those bows nailed, right? They know how far they can shoot, and they're capable of doing it. And this just demonstrates the difference between trained soldiers and not trained soldiers. Yeah? I guess I will accept that. I want to find out when longbows came into common use. Yeah, it was by the 14th century that it was being used by the English and Welsh. No longbows survived from the period when the longbow was dominant, 1250 to 1450. So that's almost 200 years after where we are. Maybe more. Yeah, an English longbow would be 6 feet plus. And wouldn't come about until 200 years later, at least. So it's just a difference in fighting forces and capacity here. Hunting bows versus war maker bows, you know? And that's exactly it. These are men with tabletops and rakes trying to fight soldiers with battle-hardened spears and armor that actually works. We're fucked. I do wish that there was a little bit more of an insight into how they reach us from so far. But they charge out, take their perimeter, set up a beachhead, and set camp. Like, they're not worried about this at all. This is another day on the job, another SWAT team clearing a building. It's just a day on the job. It's just the way it goes. I love this moment from Canute. This is good land. It would be a shame to stain it with blood. And in his mind, he's not trying to do that. He's just doing what he has to do in order to get to his perfect paradise. Destroy this perfect paradise. The fuck? But in his mind, he's being fair. He's giving Ketil a perfect out. You can just be an outlaw for 10 years. It's great. Obviously not going to take that. And there's condescension from the messenger, too. If you don't want to die, then get out of the country. It's basically spinning on them, right? There's no chance. How are their forces? Oh, they're only 100 men. It's fine. It's all fine. Canute, you rascal. We're fucked. I love the difference in interpretation of events. I think this is really... Oh, it's primo good stuff. Primo good stuff. How, if you are ignorant of certain factors, true information can be utilized to spin a circumstance in exactly the opposite direction. Because the true information is, there are 100 men, plus slaves and stuff. But the real takeaway from that is, those are 100 supermarines, and we're all fucked, right? Those are highly trained super soldiers, and we're all fucked. But instead, we just say, those are 100 men. Takeaway, we're going to beat them. We got it. No problem. We outnumber them 10-1. Okay, cool. They have Gundams. Oh, okay. So for every 10 of our humans, they have one Gundam? Oh, okay. Cool. This is going to go great. Hey, what about those guys in white cloaks? Oh, those are super Gundams. They're worse. I love this moment just because the Joms Vikings are so cut up. They're so beat to shit. It's like, how are they even alive? And that's exactly what you should be thinking. Is like, oh, that's a war machine. That's a problem. Good. I think the episode does such a good job of making this scary. And humorous. And humorous, too. It's really cool. We can't beat him. We got no chance. And he's still putting on his armor. He's still going to go out there and fight. He's not going to not do it. And throughout it, like 3 times, he goes, y'all can do whatever the hell you want. You're my guys. Get the hell out of here if you want to. Leave. It's fine. But me, I know all about Iron Fist Ketil. And that's not him. That's not him at all. And strangely, that's where his internal sense of honor comes from. He's stuck with it, in part because he's weak, and Snake sees himself as weak. It's like, Snake probably could have gone and found a different place, but he had nowhere to go, and he could stay here, and it was pretty good. And so he stayed here, and it was pretty good. And that's it. That's all it is. He was given an opportunity to find a new life here, and he's going to pay it back. It's a strange sense of honor you've got, Snake. With nowhere else to go, I've stayed here as his guard dog. I've eaten more than my share of free grub. It's time to pay my tab. It's as simple as that. Even though you're paying your tab with death, almost assuredly. It's how it works for him. I love his mask, his helm. I think it's really cool looking. It's a unique design. It really stands out. And I love the animation around it, too. And they are all a little bit shamed, right? That's what this picture looks like. Look, just do what you want. The master's a fraud. This isn't worth dying for. And immediately they all clang, clang, clang. Clang, clang, clang. Grrr, clang, clang, clang. Get all their armor on. We're coming too. How could we be, more ashamed by this? We can't let this stand. If we ran away from this, we'd be worse than the fraud. We'd be worse than the worst. Can't do that. It's a different type of honor than the we must fight and die on the battlefield kind of honor. It's repaying the human stuff, the earning your board. It's cool. But ill-advised. The whole thing is really ill-advised. Thorgil with his plan and his grin, man, he's so fucking excited to shed blood. So I don't like Thorgil, but I really love Thorgil as a character, as an example of the perfect Viking, right? Snake, we talked about, Snake is like sword. In my mind, he is the sword. He lives by the sword. He's gonna die by the sword. He is the sword. Thorgil is a rampaging monster, right? Like, all sorts of different things. But as a perfect example of what a Viking is meant to be, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. What a great guy. And a perfect foil for Olmar. Olmar, who cannot live up to him, who doesn't want to do this, and who can't swim with a sword on his back. Poor Olmar just wants out. So why do we need all these useless pieces of shit? What's the point? Don't you get it? When your enemy has a man at the end of his spear, he probably can't get that spear into you. So, you picking up what I'm putting down? Make somebody else run in front of you, get them on the spear, and then you kill the bad guy. It's great. It's great. There's more blood. Yeah. I love the face that we use for Thorgil. It's a distraction. Something about this shot of the shield wall is really neat. And I think... Gosh, I don't know. I feel like they've placed... Like, maybe they've referenced it to do it that way. But, okay, here's the thing. The shields are going like this. Okay? They're going like this as we go. Okay, because we're like moving out at an angle so that we come to fit more like flat on with the characters. Right? We're starting in profile and we're coming up to full as we move. Sort of if we were to carry this camera movement around all the way across the line, we'd end up flat and then we'd come all the way around. And all the shields, they don't just slide. Okay? Because if you draw a 2D shield, you draw a 2D circle, you have to redraw it tilting. To redraw it tilting. You can't just enlarge it, right? You can't just skew it or use simple tricks. So, that is what we're doing for all these human-drawn 2D humans. We have to be. But if the shields are tilting, and I think they are, then those shields have been mapped to a 3D model. I can't tell. It's short enough a shot that it might be tricking us. I would actually have to like measure the width of the shield and measure it at the side. I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna use like the thumb pencil method. Oh yeah, it's wider. It's wider. Okay. So how do they do that? Because they don't look like they're 3D at all. But they're definitely in widening. Did they draw them by hand and then just redraw them? But they move on ones or like twos. They're moving on ones. Look at that. It's perfect. Yeah, and okay, hold on. We can see it now. The shields are also moving across the characters. Because it's not the same on this side. This is just parallax. This is just perfect parallax. No, it isn't. Oh my god, we are skewing them. Oh my god, we are skewing them. Okay, they're actually taking the frames, like this is a bunch of cells layered on top of each other and then parallaxed across like this, but they're also squishing each individual one. They're squishing them. And so the shields on the other side, they are just warping them. I think there's a layer of like the shields and a layer of the people, and they're stretching it a little bit as it goes. Whoa. I've seen attempts at this kind of stuff, and I don't think they've ever looked this good. That looks really good to me. Look, the spaces between the characters shift. Yeah, we've layered each of them. Layer, 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 layer. And then we're stretching each of them and moving each of them. So we've created all these 2D layers. They're not 3D. We've created all these 2D layers, and then we've put them into a 3D, like, framework. Almost like a bunch of pages in a slide deck. And then we're sliding them all, like, across from each other, so they're all going... And we're stretching each individual one, so it goes... Wah. And if we were to keep doing this, the characters would get too warpy. They'd become wide, right? They'd become, like, wide peepo. But because it's just for a short portion, they don't get skewed too far, right? The circles are still ovals, and the humans are still humanoid, because they only shift, like a couple %. But it's enough that all shifting all at once, it shifts the whole line and gives us the sense that it's in 3 dimensions. Why did they put so much effort into this shot? Is this easier than I think it is? Because it looks amazing. This looks less good. I think because they're not as uniform, right? They're not as uniform, so we can't clock the feeling of it. But I think if we look at this guy, spear guy in the center, I think we can watch him, like straighten. His spear goes like this, because we're confining him, we're squashing him side to side. Yeah, just a little bit, just a couple % to match with the camera movement and make it all fit together. That's some animation trick stuff. That's really, really clever. Wow. Okay, super cool. Where is Thorgil? All right, let's go. Man, I've thought a lot about situations like this. This kind of warfare happened all over the place, but the place where I think of it, where it comes to my mind, is the Romans and the Germans. Germanic tribes, all sorts. Roman shield walls. And the type of warfare that was developed for being an organized unit, just machine-like mowing through a group of untrained soldiers, or less trained soldiers, or berserkers, right? Like, whatever they are. The effectiveness that well-trained, uncaring, well-equipped men standing shoulder to shoulder with each other with shields and short swords and spears, it's... We had a moment in the last episode, or a couple episodes ago, where I was like, wow, swords are scary. Swords are fucking scary. Shield walls and, like, military formations, those are fucking scary. I can't help but imagine myself, a peasant farmer, riled up into a fervor, carrying a wood-cutting axe and a tabletop, right, as a shield. And your leader yells the charge, and you're in row 1 or 2. And now there's a flood of men behind you, pushing you forward. You can't back up. You can't turn. And there's a wall, a true wall, with spikes coming out of it, held by conscious individuals who are trying to stab you. And they just want to cut through you like butter. That's scary. That's scary. It's a rare thing for a piece of media to capture that, and I don't think that this one does. We just get the crash, right? I think the only time that I've really felt that hard was in certain episodes of Game of Thrones. It's hard to capture. I think in part because it's like, man, we don't even really want to witness it. But there it goes. So we turn. And away we go. The battle goes on over there. We turn our attention to our fleeing characters. And they turn their attention to Arnheid. And so we dive into her mind. and find her on a different road. A familiar road. Bump. And over a bump she wakes here. And it's both children. You're destined to go here one day, Arnheid. But it won't be today, huh? It won't be today. Soon we'll be out of these dark woods, this dark place. We have a warm home waiting for us. There's hope. She turns and she sees two animals. A big, beautiful deer. A buck. Peaceful. From the woods. Einar. And smaller. Cunning. A wolf. Thorfinn. They're still here. Even in the darkness, even in the dark woods, they haven't moved on. They're still here. Trying to survive here. Struggling onward, looking forward. So Gardar stops and gives her a chance to say goodbye. And Arnheid awakens. She's alive. For now. And it's from that we turn to death. And it's at a small scale. I mean, like, I know it's happening at a broad scale, but again, I don't feel like we capture the feeling of it here. Just the individual horror of blood. The shield wall marches forward. Their faces are grim, expressions blank. Machines. Machines of death. Wielded by Canute. Swords themselves. We have no need of the rear line. Go capture Ketil. They charge through. Olmar runs and weeps. And Thorgil fucking Terminators out of the... Predators out of the water? God damn, Thorgil. What a fucking Viking. Asshole. Terrible human being. Excellent Viking. Excellent Viking. My dude is gonna be in Valhalla. Oh man, he's gonna have such a good time in the pit. Can you imagine? Thorgil's gonna have such a good time in the pit. He wouldn't want to go anywhere else. Are you joking? Oh, he's gonna love it. He's gonna love it. He's gonna be down there with everybody else. Just bathing in the blood. Bathing in blood. Laughing and cackling. Good man, Thorgil. Good man. Well, shit. War is here. Thorgil's gonna go try to take Canute's head, and I don't think that's gonna work, but it should sure as fuck be exciting. This is a great episode from the delve into Arnheid's mind and her end journey cut short to Snake's decision to stay and just the expressions on his face as he gets ready for what's coming. The whole setup of the whole thing, how it's really like should be a foregone conclusion, and then watching these characters try to wrest victory from the jaws of defeat. Yeah, it's complicated and it's interesting and there's a lot going on and I like it. This is a perfect battlefield for the ideas of our show. We'll see next time who comes out victorious. My vote is on Canute. But what will it cost? I don't know. We'll see next time on Vinland Saga. Thanks so much for watching me watch this episode. I'll catch you next week for more, or you can get a little bit early on the Patreon, linked in the description. I'll see you there. Much love. Peace.